Welcome to a brand new episode of CNB. I'm Siddharth Vinayak Partnkar, and as promised, I am coming to you from the 2023 Delhi Auto Expo. Yes, as always, we have it all covered for you in terms of what's the biggest highlight and the biggest newsmaker. Maruti Suzuki always brings a concept to town, and no different this time. The EVX next to me is a full electric that will hit production in 2025. This particular concept has a 60 kilowatt-hour battery with a 550 kilometer potential driving range. Yes, electrics are dominating the conversation, as you must have expected.
The return of the Auto Expo, after a gap of 3 years, saw a slew of new car launches as well as unveils. Even though many prominent manufacturers decided to give the show a miss this time around, there were some big ticket launches. Leading the way was Maruti Suzuki, which unveiled 2 new SUVs for the Indian market. The 5-door Jimny made its world debut in India, and the Baleno-based crossover named Fronx made heads turn. Well, to understand why it was named so, but the announcement of opening of bookings for both cars ushered in the hope of an imminent launch.
The crowd around me will tell you that the biggest showstopper this expo is here. This is the Maruti Suzuki Jimny, and it's here after a long wait. It's a much awaited car in India. It's been talked about for a very long time, and now finally the brand has gone ahead and unveiled the car for India. It's still some time before the car is actually launched, maybe a couple of months, but now they've shown this car, and the bookings have also begun of the all-new Jimny. Good part is India is the first market that gets the 5-door version of the Jimny. The car is sold in almost 200 countries and regions across the world, but for the first time ever it gets a 5-door model. Anywhere else it gets a 3-door model, and this car will be first launched in India and then it will be launched in other parts of the world. But you look at the new Jimny, and this is your quintessential SUV, how Jimny looks like. So the dimensions are quite similar, of course 5-door, so you can see the difference there, but on the face it's very similar. Vertical slats, use of chrome here, round headlamps as well, the big black bumper, all look in sync with the look of the new Jimny. On the profile as well, a lot of cladding that has been used with the SUV. You can see that big gap between the wheel and the arches, the square wheel arches as well, and of course this nice color also that comes with the SUV. In all you will get 7 color options. This one is called the kinetic yellow, and many of these colors will come with a dual tone option like you've seen on this SUV right now. So this one has been a sort of signature color for the Jimny, and this is how it has been presented in India as well. Of course, looks nice with these black mirrors, quite straight windshield here. So as I said, quintessential SUV looks of the all-new Jimny. In terms of features, they're trying to give you an ergonomic cabin inside the Jimny. So you see that big touch screen. We've seen that in other cars from the brand as well, but otherwise also a quite sporty cabin, all black interiors. You get interesting looking dual meters, analog meters on the instrument cluster. And of course the gear lever, the climate control switches all give you a sporty feel. 2 sets of doors on either sides, so that's good. This has the Suzuki All Grip Pro, so you have a 4x4 low as well on the Suzuki Jimny, so the capability is going to be there. It's not going away anywhere on this new SUV, so take it where you want. We've seen some videos during the launch of the car, so the car has been driven on snow, on sand dunes. So yes, this is a car that will take you to a lot of places. And yes, on the rear as well, it does give you again those SUV looks. So the wheel arch is mounted on the rear door, it opens on the side. Again, the black bumper with the tail lamps, not as big as the front bumper, but looks nice nevertheless. Let me tell you some important figures as well on the new Jimny. In terms of angles, you get an approach angle of 36 degrees, a ramp breakover angle of 24 degrees and a departure angle of 50 degrees that is surely going to help during off-roading. The length of the car is 3,985 millimeters. The width is 1,645 millimeters. The height 1,720 millimeters. Now some of you may not like that. If you compare it to say something like a Thar, it's not as tall, not as big and bulky. So smallish sort of SUV. The Jimny. The ground clearance really important, 210 millimeters. A boot space of 208 liters. And if you fold down the second row, you get a boot space of 332 liters on the new Jimny. So some important figures there on the car, something that will help you decide if you want to buy this car or not. All grip technology for now, it's a standard on the vehicle, so we'll have to see if a version comes which is a two-wheel drive version of the car. But right now the car will come with an all grip pro. Prices still not revealed. As I said, bookings have started for 11,000 rupees on the new Suzuki Jimny, Maruti Suzuki Jimny, and it could take a couple of months, maybe 2 or 3 months for the car to launch in the market.
The Fronx has arrived with a much longer list when it comes to engine and gearbox options.
This was one of the expected launches coming in from Maruti Suzuki India this year, but today the company has unveiled the car. Now, back then we thought it would be called the Baleno Cross or the Baleno with an X which symbolizes cross. Now, Maruti Suzuki has completely thrown us off that, and it's called it the Fronx. Yes, F-R-O-N-X. That's what you can see right there on the nameplate. And we don't know what that means, but we'll surely find out very, very soon. Overall, about the car, it looks new. It looks like a compressed version of the Grand Vitara. And of course, you know what? There is this one is based on the hardtech platform, which basically means that it is based on the Baleno itself. But a lot of new upgrades on the car, right from the 16-inch wheels that this one gets to the kind of design elements that you see on the car. Right up front, you have the LEDs and LEDs up top, and then you have the headlamps down there, and then this mesh grille right up front that you see. Now, very interesting use of palette and very interesting use of chrome as well. Not too much, not overdone as such, but the Nexa blue stands out, and that's the reason why it's come out here, because this will be retailed out of the Nexa channels. Now, talking about the engines, this one it will be offered with two engine options. A 1.2-liter engine, which is the K series version, which makes about 88 brake horsepower, and then there is the 1-liter booster jet engine, which makes about 99 brake horsepower. Yes, we are excited that the booster jet has finally come to India, especially after it was introduced in Baleno quite a few years ago. Now, the big challenge here is how will this, or where will this fit in? Now, this will obviously be the S-Cross kind of replacement for the company here in India, but it looks pretty nice. The 16-inch wheels actually, you know, they don't fill up the wheel well too well, but still there is a good amount of rubber that you can see, and it adds to the presence of the car. Now, this wheel cladding that you see just brings out that SUV-ness of the car, and yes, it looks like a compressed version of the Grand Vitara, as I already said. Inside now, if you get to see, you get, well, it's pretty much similar to what the Baleno is on the inside. Now, the tail lamps right behind is a single LED unit which spans from tail lamp to tail lamp. It looks excellent because it's a nice running lamp that you get right here. Now, there is no bit of chrome here, so exactly, it's not overdone, but there's a nice skid plate that you get there, and then you have this plastic cladding again. So overall, again I mentioned this, it is a smaller version of the Grand Vitara, and really stands out in that crowd. So we look forward to know more about this car only after we get to driving it. There's so much more that the company will offer, because there will be a lot in terms of customization from the company. It is offered in a number of colors, and there will be a lot more features that we'll know about very soon, and the launch will probably be scheduled for February this year, or up to March at least. Now, the only thing left to know is the price, because bookings for this car have begun today. Now, it gets us excited to know more about this car and get behind the wheel as well. But of course, if you want to tell us what you think about this car, the Fronx, especially the name, then we would love to know more about it in the comment section. So do comment, do like, do subscribe.
Not too far behind was Tata Motors, which unveiled many cars, some of which are production ready. This included the iconic nameplate of the Tata Sierra, which has seen a big transformation from the concept model shown in 2020. The brand also announced that the SUV will be launched in the market as an EV in the year 2025. But even before the Sierra EV, another electric from Tata Motors, the Harrier EV, will hit the market. According to the brand, the SUV is ready for production and will look largely similar to this car shown at the Expo. It will come with a range of 500 kilometers and is expected to be launched by 2024. The one that dropped our jaws was the Ionic 5, and that's not because SRK dropped in, but for another reason.
Hyundai has finally launched the Ionic 5 in the country, and prices begin at 44,95,000 rupees. Yes, it's a shocker for the Auto Expo, but this price is introductory and available only for the first 500 customers that the company gets. Now, the Ionic 5 is not the first time you're seeing it on CarAndBike, because we did an exclusive review of it. You remember that. This is the same car that is now coming to India. Now, it will be assembled at the Chennai factory. We have confirmation of that, and that's one reason why the prices are that low. But just to summarize what this car is, it brings in a lot more features, 60 plus new link features on offer. It's got V2L technology and a lot more. 631 kilometers on a single charge. That's what the Ionic 5 does. And it has a ground clearance of 163 millimeters, the highest of any Hyundai car in the country currently.
In 2022, we saw so much attention and noise around conventional hybrids that it's no surprise that it's not just the EVs, but there are also a few hybrids being showcased at the Expo this year. Plenty more from the Auto Expo that's coming up on the other side of a short break. Keep watching CNB. Welcome back to CNB. The siblings from Seoul continue to create so much buzz in our market. No doubt about it, here at the Expo too, therefore they are in overdrive. You're seeing the KA4, which is really the next generation of the Carnival, being showcased finally here in India. That and a lot more is what you can expect through the year.
On the two-wheeler side of things, the Auto Expo 2023 was mostly about electric two-wheelers. But there were a few interesting launches and unveils in the petrol-powered motorcycle segment as well. All from Adishwar Autoride India, which possibly had the biggest two-wheeler stall and several brands, both existing and new. Under the company's Benelli retail platform, a new 200cc modern classic motorcycle was launched at the Expo.
Brand new motorcycle launched at the Auto Expo 2023 is this, the new Hyundai SR250S. It's a sort of a modern classic motorcycle from the Hungarian origin brand Hyundai, Benelli's sister brand here in India. And interesting bits about it, 223cc engine makes about 16 odd bhp of power, 16 Newton meters of torque, and comes with a dry weight of 120 kgs. Now it's got a 14-liter tank, so curb weight will be about say 135, 140 kgs. So lightweight, 16 bhp, 16 Newton meters of torque, runs on 17-inch wheels, but got nice chunky tires and good decent sized disc brakes. And it's just been launched today at the Auto Expo 2023 and priced at just about 1.49 lakhs.
Motorworld, the multi-brand outlet of Adishwar Autoride India, plans to launch a new and interesting 200cc motorcycle under Chinese brand Zantes.
This year's edition of the Auto Expo has few petrol-powered motorcycles or scooters on display, but one company or a bouquet of brands really, which is making a huge splash here is Adishwar Autoride International with a bouquet of brands Benelli, Kiwi, QJ Motor and Zantes. This one, very interesting motorcycle on show here, the Zantes U1 200. Yes, it's a 200cc motorcycle, sort of a supermoto come scrambler come street fighter kind of a look. A mixed match of different styles, if you will, but very interesting. And the specs, 21.5 bhp at 9,000 rpm, so promises to be a high revving engine, about 19 Newton meters of torque. The point is 150 kg curb weight and 210 millimeters of ground clearance. Got chunky off-road wheels. Looks quite a fun package to ride on, but it's just been showcased to gauge audience interest really. Not a launch as yet, just been showcased to see how people react to this motorcycle if it is launched, and there's a good chance of this Zantes U1 200 being launched in India in the months ahead. How much will you pay for it? 200cc supermoto come scrambler come street fighter motorcycle. Very interesting product. Nothing quite like it in the market at the moment. If it's launched, how much will you pay for it? Let us know in the comments. Take a quick look at the Zantes U1 200. 150 kg curb weight, 210 mm ground clearance and 21.5 bhp of power, 19 Newton meters of torque. Those are the specs. Take a close look at the new Zantes U1 200.
Adishwar Autoride India also plans to introduce yet another new motorcycle brand, Benda, and showcased 3 cruiser motorcycles which are unique and interesting in their own way.
So it seems like a resurrection of cruiser motorcycles at the Auto Expo 2023, and the brand new brand that's been showcased here is Benda, a Chinese brand from the Kianjiang group. Of course, retail in India under the Motovol slash Benelli slash Kiwi joint venture. This one, very interesting take on the cruiser format, looks very low slung, reminds me somewhat of the Indian Scout, but the biggest highlight of this Benda, it's called the Dark Flag, is it's powered by a V4 engine. Yes, it's a 4-cylinder engine, the V4 engine format, and it's a 500cc V4. You heard of V4 engines in the Multistrada V4, in the Ducati Diavel V4, but that is a 500cc V4, so 124 odd cc in each cylinder into 4. Looks quite nice, looks low slung, and I like the way this exhaust designs are made. 16-inch wheels, fat chunky tires, looks quite the part, and it's got some nifty features as well. Look at that branding here. That's the Benda air suspension, and it's electronically controlled. It's got 2 riding modes, sport and tour, and you can adjust the suspension like that. See that? So V4 engine, first of its kind in a cruiser format.
Along with the Dark Flag was a big, mean-looking heavyweight cruiser, the LFC 700. We are here at the Motomourinhi stall, at the Benelli Kiwi stall at Auto Expo, and this is one of the highlights. As you can see, the motorcycle is massive, it is big, it is loud, and it is in your freaking face. The motorcycle gets a liquid-cooled inline-4 engine displacing 680cc, making about 92 brake horsepower, and it has an electronically limited top speed of 180 km per hour. The motorcycle has a dry weight of 275 kilograms and a curb weight of 310 kilograms, so it's massive. The seat height, as you can see, is very low at 695 millimeters, and you have disc brakes, dual disc brakes up front and a single disc brake at the rear. So again, we don't know whether this will be launched in India or not, but you can be rest assured this is one of the two-wheeler highlights here at Auto Expo 2023. Yet another new motorcycle brand was launched at the Expo, MBP or Moto Bologna Passionate, an Italian origin brand also owned by China's Kianjiang group. two models, the C1002V Cruiser and the MBP 502N Naked Street Bike, were showcased at the Expo, announcing the brand's debut in India. In the electric two-wheeler segment, Ultraviolet Automotive announced its entry into India's first electric motorsports space with a new racing platform called the Ultraviolet F99 Factory Racing Platform. Another known name from India's two-wheeler history, LML, makes a comeback in electric form, showcasing the LML Star electric scooter. In a quiet corner, Swedish electric bike brand Cake Electric showcased 3 products, announcing its interest in the Indian two-wheeler market.
It is concept cars like this one, the LF30 from Lexus, that really brings a lot of excitement to any motor show. So it's great to see this kind of participation as well at the Auto Expo. Certainly something the crowds will enjoy seeing. Lexus, meanwhile, of course, has debuted the RX here in India as well. And there's so much action that we brought you. Please react to all of that. Tell me how and what you liked from the Auto Expo 2023. You know how you can reach me at Sid Patankar on both Instagram and Twitter. With that, promise me you'll wear your seatbelts, your helmets, and then join us on the show next week. Bye-bye.